Hi everyone, Ben Laing here. Just want to share something that's been something that I want to fix. It's a bit of a rant, let's say. It's something that has been popping up for me quite often, and throughout my business, throughout different passions and hobbies and purposes that I've been going after. And this is all about protecting your mind, really shielding your mind from the wrong thoughts and making sure what gets in there is going to serve you, not pull you back or stop you. One of my favourite quotes is, I think it was T.S. Eliot, and he says, "Only those who will risk going too far can find out how far one can go." This is a reminder for me every time I feel myself being pulled back by fear or by other people's fear. If I start something new, I get passionate about something, such as running, or when I start my business. Whenever we do something new or different, follow our purpose, or we find a passion and we take some bold actions, people tend to warn us and want to, even unconsciously, want to bring us back down. It's not from an evil place. A lot of the time, which I'll go into, it comes from caring about you or loving you. An example I've got is when I got into running, and I've been doing running for a good while now, but I've really been getting into it. And I've noticed more and more sort of people's opinions and ideas coming at me where they're basically warning me. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that maybe coined the term of naysayers. These people, again, could come from a good place, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people fear other people being successful, and again, it can be unconscious of them to take these actions. So they tend to fill our minds up, who are trying to go ahead with this bold action that this thing that we're going for, we're getting excited about, we're doing a lot. Like some of the warnings that I've heard a lot is just be careful, or it comes across that way, especially running, like watch out for watch you don't injure your knee, and just like don't overdo it. You'll end up like such and such who broke their ankle, destroyed their knee from these long distance runs. So I've been doing sort of half marathon distances. Like I did a 15-mile run the other week, and I do pick up niggles, but I've played football my whole life, so I've had so many injuries and niggles, and some stuff's been quite serious. I've had to go to physios, but I've never been taken out. And I know this, like the warnings I'm receiving from people, like even my dad and friends and family, it's coming from a good place, but I try my best to kind of guard my mind and take what I want to take, and appreciate the fact that they're only trying to help me from doing maybe what they did to themselves or what they've seen other people do to themselves. So I do appreciate that, and if you're one of these people and you're watching, I do appreciate it, but I'm just sharing a lesson with everyone here that I feel that we have to like measure that on our own mental scales and decide if that's serving us enough, and if their warning is worthy, if it's worth taking that advice. You have to fight this sort of resistance that you get when you start to go for something that you want. You've got to fight the resistance from others and kind of, in a way, rebel against it if it's not serving you. Even if they think they're serving you, they're maybe just worried because what happened in their experience, but that's not your experience, that's not your focus. Decide on what your focus is and go with that. But not just others, obviously there is your own mind as well, but this main video is about coming from other people who are really putting these new thoughts into our mind that are not serving us. But we obviously have these issues in ourselves as well, and a lot of it comes from association and influence from other people. So the news, the media, but specifically people around you and your family, your friends and colleagues and circle. And just be weary of even the general public, the people who you speak to, your neighbours. They have opinions. People have opinions, and it's come from experience or other people's experience that they project onto you. So this is what I mean by protecting your mind, is just to decide what's important. And again, to the idea of naysayers or negative thinking, I think we've all been guilty of a wee bit of until we've had practice of positive thinking, of negative thinking or naysaying to others as well. Like there's a double-sided sword, and there's where people are doing it to you. Just watch yourself doing it to others, and I have seen myself doing it to others. I've been telling people to be careful with they're like the elderly with catching coronavirus, and I caught myself doing that. So I'm being honest here that I've caught myself doing that as well. So I'm not saying other people are negative and I'm positive. We've all got these parts of us in us as well. So look out for it. Whatever you can see in yourself, you'll see it in others, and whatever you see in others, you'll see it. You can always find something of that in yourself as well. The fact is, the ego, the unconscious mind, the sort of animal mind that learns behavior, learns mistakes, builds the fears that we react from in our body. Our body reacts in fear, and the ego is only trying to protect us, and our own ego in our mind, but other people's ego are trying to protect the people they care and love. But what they're also doing, and what your ego is also doing to you, and they're doing to you, is they're stopping you. So although the people who love and care about you are trying to protect you, they're also stopping you from going for your purpose. So be very careful who you listen to and what you take in and what you allow to come in. And if there's just constant, like let's say negative or warnings from or naysaying from someone, you've got to really watch for how much time you spend with these people as well, and if you read their comments or whatever, and even if it's like a hater or whatever, you can block them as well. So just be careful and guard yourself as well. I'm not saying avoid negativity, because you can't avoid negativity, you can't avoid naysayers, you can't avoid these warnings. These are going to come to you. It's just figuring out in your mind where you want to put your focus, and that's the key. It's not about running away from people completely. It's about what you decide to put a deaf ear to, because eventually over time you learn to, when you hear that kind of talk coming through from someone, and you know it's that part of them that's fearful because they've had an experience that you've not yet experienced, and they're giving it to you. Just realize that, and over time you start to build a deaf ear to that kind of communication, and it's something I've been building. So you can't avoid negativity. You're going to face it. You're going to face people who are going to warn you and be naysayers, but you can build a muscle to switch off your ear when that's happening. And then obviously there's other steps. You have to fight for your focus. You've got to fight for your focus and combat against this information from other people and the media coming into your mind, and deciding what you want to come in. So some actions that you can take off the back of this are connecting to your purpose. Your purpose, your why, must be stronger than anything else, than any hurdle, than corona, than everything. So connecting to your purpose on a daily basis, and even multiple times throughout the day, and just knowing where you're going with it. Like, it should always be on your desk. It should always, like, if someone asks you what your goals are, you should know it. Like, it should just be snap off the mind. So the other things you could do, there's, again, affirmations. There's positive and negative sides, connotations to them, but positive affirmations, what I mean by that as well is, don't just think of affirmations as these I am worthy, I am the best, like kind of cheesy affirmations that people you've maybe heard about before. But there's also other ways of affirmation. Like, affirmations just talking nicely to yourself in your head. It's being around the right people, because affirmation is just a suggestion to your mind, and other people are suggesting things to your mind all the time. Slow down, you're going to hurt yourself. Be careful, don't overdo it. You'll end up hurting yourself, and all this stuff. And this is coming from people all the time. Look out for what affirmations and suggestions are going into your mind, into your subconscious mind, and we act from what's in our subconscious mind. So be careful what you let in there in the first place. And this is another part of cultivating the garden. So this is another action, is to associate with like-minded people that are in alignment with your purpose and your visions and your mission and everything else, but also dissociate with people who are just not serving you, who are just always negative, who are just always full of warnings, naysaying, and just spend less time with them, or cut them out. It's up to you who you spend time with, so and who you listen to, and what you get around. So again, if the media, the news is bringing you down, switch it off. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to be around these people, and you don't have to listen to these people. So it's your choice what you listen to and what you get around, and you have choices at any point of the day, no matter where you are, to accept what's happening to you, walk away, or just not listen to it. So the other idea is to just another action you can take is being conscious of. It's less of an action, it's more of a sort of thing you can do in your mind in those moments, is just being conscious of what you're taking action from. Are you taking action from your ego, from your fearful fight or flight kind of self, and are you taking that from bad advice that you got from an uncle or a friend that maybe you wouldn't normally take advice from, but they said something, they suggested something, they warned you about something, and now you're taking action from that. So be aware of where you're taking action from in your mind, and where that information came from. Like, why is that in my mind, and why am I going to take action on that? Who did it come from? What's the source, and everything else? So again, first things first, don't let that get into your mind. If it does get into your mind, which it probably can and probably will, be conscious and aware of what's in your mind, and be conscious of what you're acting on, and make sure you're acting from your purpose, from like, what do I want, what would I love, and go for it based on those questions, and what's obvious about your what you would love to do in this moment right now versus this fearful side. And then the last thing is speed. So there's a thing called, I think it was Mel Robbins made it up, and it's a 5-second rule. Before fear even kicks in, if you just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and take action on things, this can sometimes be a really good way to, you don't even need courage to do that. It's literally just doing something that you would love before fear has an even chance to kick in. And there's certain things that aren't as risky. Like, I do believe in caution, and I do believe in insurance and protecting ourselves, and being clever and logical, but there's times where speed wins and trumps everything. So speed is a big thing on my mind just now, something I'm really trying to focus on. So this was just why this got into the action list of what to do about all this, is speed and moving fast, and just making faster decisions, because the longer we wait and the more we research and fill our mind up, the more fear can build up, and then nothing happens. So thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. Please give me your feedback if you're watching this live or on replay. Thanks for joining, everyone else.